everybody, Pandi here.
Hey everybody, Pandi here of Pandi's Hair Candy and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If you are already chat family with me, welcome back. I am just coming through with a quick weekly rundown, guys, of what all I saw trending over this past weekend. Just to chop it up with you guys. You guys know I like to keep my ear to the ground on what's going on in the world around us. And of course, with us being on social media, I'm sure we've all seen a little bit of some of the stories I'll be touching on. So, without further ado, I want to thank you all again for taking a moment to stop by and check me out. If you enjoy the video, please don't forget to blow dry on that like button and go ahead and subscribe. It is free 99 after all. It does not cost you anything. And if you have the ability to share me out on your community tab, I would be so grateful. Sharing is definitely caring. Now, without further ado, I am going to jump right into this latest trending story in entertainment news. And it is, of course, dealing with the rapper Travis Scott. We all know that there was a big situation which occurred down in Houston with a festival that he hosts every year there. And I'm going to just go over some of the highlights for you guys and see what your thoughts are. Okay, now it did just recently come out that Travis Scott is now going to cover funeral costs for the Astro World victims. I think that's very much stand up of him and pretty much the least he could do. Um, you know, as I understand it, when I was looking at news reports last night, 8 people had lost their lives. So, I mean, that's very honorable. So let me just read some of the report here and get you guys' thoughts on this situation. So Travis Scott will cover all funeral costs for the 8 victims who died at his Astro World Festival on this past Friday, according to a statement released Monday by a representative for the rapper and producer. The Houston born artist will also partner with BetterHelp to provide free mental health services to all those affected by the tragedy. Travis remains in active conversations with the city of Houston, law enforcement, and local first responders to respectfully and appropriately connect with the individuals and families of those involved, the statement reads. These are the first of many steps Travis plans on taking as part of his personal vow to assist those affected throughout their grieving and recovery process. Very, very interesting. And like I said, I think that's, the least he could do considering that 8 people attempting to come to his concert, ended up losing their lives. Now, media officials also reached out to the festival's promoter, Live Nation, for information about the refund process because they were also going to issue refunds to everyone in attendance. And you guys have to keep in mind that over 50,000 people attended this festival. So Live Nation stated that the company is working on ways to support the attendees, the families of victims, and staff by providing mental health counseling and will help with hospital costs. And of course, we know that Scott took to social media over the weekend and wrote about, how he was absolutely devastated at what took place, and he issued a formal statement, which some are pretty much coming for because a lot of people felt like, it was very insensitive and very disingenuous. So, um, yeah, guys, we're going to have to see how this one plays out because basically, what took place in summarizing, authorities are stating that Scott took the stage shortly after 9 p.m. on Friday to perform to 50,000 attendees. Some of those concert goers described the event as traumatizing, with many witnesses saying they saw lifeless bodies being trampled amid the chaos. Now, the first reports of injuries began at 9:30 p.m., with Scott continuing to perform until a little after 10 p.m. Now, he did stop performing at one point when an ambulance was seen driving into the crowd. Now, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner also told media that the investigation is still ongoing and he's asking the community to be considerate of the grieving families and to pretty much lift them up in prayer. So, what are our thoughts on this whole situation? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am a woman of a particular age. My children are all in their 20s. I have 3 children in their 20s. So, this particular artist is definitely not somebody I'm familiar with. Sounds like, just looking at the video footage, that it's definitely a younger crowd, and listening to the multiple news reports and hearing that the youngest victim was age 10 on up to the oldest one being age 27, that spoke volume to me. But what are y'all's thoughts? Because I'm also taking into consideration that we are dealing with a pandemic still. And just looking at the footage and hearing the numbers of in excess of 50,000 people, it immediately popped in my mind super spreader situation. You know what I'm saying? So, what are y'all's thoughts? I mean, it's also been alleged that Mr. Scott's previous concerts or festivals, if you will, have had some issues of violence, or, like the young people say, he liked to turn up. And, they feel like sometimes he can tend to get the people so hyped that, it often ends in something wild and crazy. And to a certain degree, I understand that and expect that almost from a concert, especially for young people. But this whole situation with the crowd surging forward towards the stage and people losing their lives as a result of being trampled, I have never seen anything like this before. This is just so shocking and so crazy. So what are y'all's thoughts? Do you listen to this guy? Are you familiar with his music? And what are your thoughts? Who do we feel like is going to be held liable for this? It seems like I said, the reports are stating that he is trying to be a stand-up dude about the situation and allegedly has agreed to, assist with the funeral cost, as well as making sure that every attendee receives a full refund. But where does fault lie in a situation like this? If people have lost their lives as a result of the crowd pretty much stampeding and hurting their way up towards the stage, who's at fault here? Is it the artist? Is it the venue? I mean, I just want to know. Y'all drop down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's on your mind. I would love to hear your feedback. And please, people, do not take any of my commentary the wrong way. I am in no way coming for Travis Scott. Like I said, I do not even know who he is, aside from the fact of what I'm hearing about in this story and, what I've been learning about him doing my research, so this is definitely not an attack on him. I am simply offering my commentary because, like I said, I do like to follow what's trending and keeping you all abreast of what's trending. And right now, pretty much all weekend, this has been the most talked about piece of entertainment news that has been trending on both social media as well as regular media outlets. I've seen a number of influencers and social media content creators speaking on this situation as well. And I do feel like it is something that we should be discussing, because there are a number of aspects to this situation aside from the sad fact that 8 people have lost their lives. So please, again, don't take this the wrong way. My heart goes out to the families of the 8 people who lost their lives. And my heart just goes out to everyone involved in this situation. I, again, am just opening up for commentary purposes and reflection to see, what are our thoughts on how something like this can be prevented in the future, and, how it should have been handled. Should we even be attending concerts right now? Should concerts still be put on pause? I know most things have reopened, but we still face a very real invisible threat out there. And so, I was thinking in the back of my mind also, is there going to be a rash of positive, people coming forward as a result of being at this event? So just a whole lot of things to take into consideration. But once again, you all drop down in the comment section. Let me know what's on your mind. I would love to hear your feedback. Now, moving right along, let's get into this next piece, shall we? Hey, everybody. Pandi here of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If you are already chat family with me, welcome back. All right, guys. So, on a lighter note, this next story that I'm coming to you with is one of my personal faves, Miss Tabitha Brown. Now, for those of you who don't know who Tabitha Brown is, where have y'all been? Let me tell you a little bit about who Tabitha Brown is, what she does as far as social media is concerned, how she's changing the landscape of social media, and just give her big time kudos, okay? Now, at age 42, Brown has only recently become a social media phenomenon. In just 4 years, she has gone from only 30 people watching her to 2.6 million followers on Facebook and nearly 4 million on Instagram. She counts another 5 million followers on TikTok, where most of the users are the age of her daughters and younger. And she has already accumulated a whopping 84 million likes for her content. Now, unlike many influencers before her, Brown's online clout has translated to real world. She's done brand deals with Whole Foods, Target, and McCormick, which recently released her Tabitha Brown branded all-purpose seasoning earlier this year. And it took only 39 minutes to sell out of all 100,000 units. Brown has also secured book deals and TV shows, including a guest role last season on Showtime's The Chi. And then there's also the Hush Hush project coming that she developed and sold to a major network, and in which she will also star as herself. Then, of course, there's her YouTube original show, Tab Time, which recently debuted this November, Brown, a black woman from Eden, North Carolina, with a pronounced southern drawl and a big old fro, will be the new Mr. Rogers, teaching children to laugh, think, and eat good snacks. She loves the children. So I want to just give a huge shout out to Tabitha Brown. She is such an inspiration to many of us here on social media, trying to figure it out, trying to brand ourselves, trying to do something positive, and just trying to make a splash on the scene and just get out there and do the darn thing. I mean, and then you guys, just when you thought, oh my God, she's done all that, the feel good internet sensation Tabitha Brown also has other projects going on. Now, keep in mind, she's a vegan influencer. She's known for her warm, soothing social media videos. And now, of course, at most of her diehard fans' requests, she recently teamed up with the popular mental wellness app Calm to use her charm to help us get a better night's sleep. Now, as a part of that new partnership, Brown has also co-authored Slowing Down with Tabitha Brown. Now, that's a sleep story narrated by her that subscribers can listen to at night to help them wind down. Now, the story is inspired by Brown's own personal journey to self-love and peace, touching on her love for food and spreading joy while telling the story of Tabitha, a small town North Carolina resident who's on a journey to find the perfect ingredients for her favorite dish. Quote, "I'm a storyteller by nature," says Brown, who admits the synergy was instant for her. "I'm from the country. We'd grow up telling stories, and I love that. I love that they let me co-write with them and add things and give my own little feel into it as well. Just getting into the studio and telling the story, it was just so peaceful within." End quote. Now, for Brown, who's known to be intentional about her partnerships and comforting messages for all, this collaboration was something that just made sense. So again, you guys, I can't say enough about Miss Tabitha Brown. Like, this woman is absolutely amazing. I have been following her here on YouTube for, I want to say, maybe about 9 months now. And, she's just such an inspiration. You guys, also, let me share a little bit more information, because if you don't know who Tabitha Brown is and you are here on social media, you're trying to establish your footing, you want a positive influencer, someone that can encourage you on this journey, I highly recommend taking a look at Miss Tab. Now, it's also not lost on Brown how important it is for the Black community to find continued peace during what has proven to be a very difficult time for many. Helping people get there is something she believes she was built to do. She often tells the story about how her and her dad have talked about this. She says, "My daddy said, 'Isn't it amazing to be a part of the solution?' That's what it feels like. It's like I'm playing a role. A very small role, but I'm playing a role in the solution because I believe that love and joy is a solution to healing, to calming down, to feeling better, and just being overall good in this world as a people. It just feels good in my soul. I feel like I'm living in purpose. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this. There's no better feeling when you're living your purpose and you're doing it simply as you are." I couldn't agree with Tabitha more. The positive vibes just exude. They exude. Now, how did she become the queen of all things joyful on all of our social media feeds? How did she do that? Many media outlets have asked her this question, and here's what I found. This is what she says. You know it's real when you don't have to second guess it. When you just be and don't let nothing really shift you and move you, you just be like, it is what it is. That's peace because that's freedom and you know who you are. So when you know, when that peace really comes over you, that freedom, but it's simply who you are, nothing shifts you. You have emotion and excitement or sadness, but you still remain the same. That's when you know who you are. You guys, I wanted to shout out Miss Tabitha Brown. I am just so impressed with this content creator, this influencer. She's amazingly talented. She's beautiful. She's motivating. She's inspirational. And she's just all that honey in a bag of chips. So, you all drop down in these comments below. Let me know what's on your mind. Are you familiar with Tabitha Brown? Have you followed her story? She is so large on social media, in particularly TikTok and Facebook. But of course, she has a large social media following on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, of course, Facebook, and many others. But like I said, just recently with the vegan spices through McCormick, I mean, it is so encouraging. She talks about in one interview that I watched of hers recently how she had this terrible headache for several weeks and she decided to bypass on eating meat. And when she noticed that this headache that she could not get rid of for several weeks went away, she instantly transitioned her whole household to vegan meals. Now, not only does she look amazing, her hair and skin look flawless. She's lost a lot of weight. Her body looks amazing for 42 years old. She's also opened up a chain of vegan restaurants. So when I talk about a visionary, this woman is all that. So you guys, drop down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Miss Tab. I really don't see how anyone could have anything negative to say about her, but honestly, hey, you're all entitled to your own opinions. Drop down below. Let me know what's on your mind. I love to hear the feedback. I love the engagement. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you follow Tab on any of her social media platforms? If not, why? If you do, why? Um, just share whatever's on your mind. Give your commentary, offer your feedback. It's all good. Now, moving right along, we're going to go ahead and jump into this final story. All right, guys. So, on a lighter note, this next story that I'm coming to you with is one of my personal faves, Miss Tabitha Brown. Now, all right, guys. So, jumping into the last story that I found while out looking at trending topics, this next story that I'm going to share is all about Netflix's new special, Karma's World. And I want to talk to you all about how Karma's World addresses the microaggressions that black girls experience with their hair. Now, I thought this was a great story to end with because you all know that I am a connoisseur of hair. I am a former licensed cosmetologist. My channel is pretty much based on hair, both my natural hair care journey as well as my love of wigs. And so this story really resonated with me. And so I'm going to end it with this and get your feedback down in the comments. But let me just share what I saw. So, Netflix's Karma's World addresses microaggressions that black girls experience with their hair. Okay? Now, as a young black girl, These statements really resonated with me. Can I touch it? Wow, it's way softer than I thought it would be. Or how about, you wear a hat to sleep? Or how about this one? Does every black girl have to wear a bonnet? Sound familiar? Possibly because, as a black woman, you too may have experienced microaggressions when it comes to your natural hair. Or maybe you have, but you didn't recognize it back then as a microaggression. Now, in Netflix's latest family friendly edition, Karma's World, Christopher Ludacris Bridges creates an animated musical world inspired by his oldest daughter, Karma Christine. Karma Christine navigates through her experience as a young black girl while facing relevant topics such as friendship, bullying, and school. In the Here Comes Trouble episode, which was co-written by Kelly R. Griffin and Halcyon Person, Karma hosts her first middle school slumber party with her three besties and is in for a night of fun. While styling a virtual avatar, Karma chooses a curly fro, much like her own. But when it comes to styling the hair, her friends begin to question if textured hair can be styled with accessories, hats, and more. Initially, ignoring the first instance, Karma and her friends prepare to get ready for bed with night lights, face masks, and stuffed animals in hand. But the night takes a turn when they begin to attack her with queries about what a bonnet is while touching her hair. Now, while pushing her pen, co-writer Halcyon Person noted the importance of hair to black culture, as well as the necessary implementation of self-love as a young black girl in these spaces. From the inception of Karma's World, the writer's room acknowledged their responsibility from the jump and knew this was a story they had to tell. We knew that with a character like Karma, we had this opportunity to celebrate not only her beautiful hairstyle, but all the hairstyles that kids are wearing. Figuring out how to tell it in a way that it hadn't been done before was the real tricky part, and the part that we really worked hard to try to get right. Being vulnerable with one another to talk about our own experiences with our own hair, body image was tough. But we knew that by exploring these ideas and feelings, we could find real authenticity in the storytelling and true feelings about what it feels like to be microaggressed against. So, Person and her fellow writers collaborated to address the topic of microaggressions and hair love with care while making it digestible for the younger audience and a conversation starter for parents. So, what started as a conversation about the team's own diverse experiences with microaggressions blossomed into a huddle and a brainstorm of how to integrate the ideas into the show. And with a show like Karma's World that includes diverse characters played by a diverse cast, the writers wanted to dig deeper than the standard bullying story to address these issues that young black girls face. Now, with this show, they feel like they have the ability to really go a little bit deeper and talk about what it means when a friend, someone you care about, someone that you would even call your bestie, is the one who microaggresses against you. How you deal with that. How you can talk about creating boundaries, telling people how to treat you and how to talk about your hair and about your culture felt like a new type of story. So to further amplify the depth and reality, this particular episode outside of the 12-minute length, the writers revealed that the team collaborated with the Perception Institute, an organization compiled of a consortium of researchers that uses data, physiological findings, and neuroscience to analyze the perceptions of people as they're watching media. Moreover, Perception Institute, according to Person, figures out ways to counter stereotype and to put new lessons, non harmful images on TV to help folks see a bigger, broader, more nuanced, less stereotypical world. So during the climactic sleepover scene, Karma's friend Switch asks her, "Can you do your hair like normal people can?" To which she responded, "Do you mean can black people do their hair like yours?" Now, though it may have been uncomfortable to the character, the writers knew that this pivotal moment in the episode would be sure to stand out for good reasons. Now, I love that Karma immediately sees that and calls that out in a way that we hope models that behavior for kids. That if they hear that amongst their friends, if they hear that on the playground or in school, they can call that out, she said hopefully. We really wanted to highlight that point when a white character, a character who's Karma's friend, others hear in the really common way that a lot of black folks and folks from marginalized communities are othered all the time. Now, Karma had a moment to say, wait a second, here's what you're actually saying, because that's a thing that's said all the time. Also, following her sleepover, Karma has the urge to straighten her hair, and while she loves the idea, she's not too sure if she truly wants to or if she just wants to fit in. And at the advisement of her mother, Karma learns that her hair is beautiful in any way, shape, or form as long as it's on her head. And during that deep conversation with her mother lets her daughter know that they come from a long line of beautiful black women with diverse hair textures, from Karma's pillow soft curls to her own tighter coils. So, you guys, this seems to be a great Netflix family friendly series. I think it's awesome that Luda and his daughter have created this animated series, and I just wanted to put it out there so that you guys know it's there. If you ever want to take a break off of social media and get down to the nitty gritty, maybe you have a daughter, a young daughter, who is going through a similar situation and just trying to understand and accept herself a little bit more. This is all about inspiring and encouraging self love. So I just wanted to point it out to you guys. This concludes all that I have seen this past week trending that stood out to me enough to actually want to come on and talk to you guys about it. I hope that you guys have enjoyed, and please drop down in the comments below and let me know if you guys have had an opportunity to catch Karma's World on Netflix. If so, what did you think about it? And what are your thoughts on the article that I shared just now about the series? If you have not had an opportunity, does it sound like a show that you would watch or maybe encourage your children or your nephews and nieces, maybe your grandchildren to take a look at, or something that you would even sit down as a family and view together? Drop down in the comments. Let me know what's on your mind. I always appreciate the feedback. Once again, guys, I am Pandi of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's trending recap. If you did not do so on your way coming in, please don't forget to blow dry on that like button. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It is free, 99 after all. It does not cost you anything. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Stay encouraged, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. All right, guys. So jumping into the last story that I found while out looking at trending topics. This next story that I'm going to share is all about Netflix's new special, Karma's World. And I want to talk to you all about how Karma's World addresses the microaggressions